Great. Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here at the SBA. We are we are actually celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. My name is Miguel Morales. I'm the Economic Development Specialist and also a Veterans Business Development Officer here for the SBA in the district office in New Hampshire. The other thing is, did you know the last 10 years, the number of Hispanic business owners have grown 34%? That's nationally. That's pretty good there. Today we'll be joining with our resource partners, which you're going to know in a few minutes. We have a few special guests that will be talking to us about owning Hispanic small business in the Grand Estate. Before introducing them, I want to give you a little bit of facts. On September 17th in 1968, Congress passed the Revolution Proclamation the week of National Hispanic Heritage Week to include September 15th and 16th. The celebration commemorated contribution of the Hispanics was signed by law by Lyndon B. Johnson on that same day. That timing of that week continues with the Independence Day celebration of five central um, nations: Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, and Costa Rica, which their Independence Day from Spain was September 15th. Mexican Independence Day was September 16th. I'm sorry, Spain was 15th. Mexican Independence Day was the 16th. For nearly 20 years, President Nixon, Ford, Carter, and Reagan all issue a yearly proclamation to set aside a week for honor Hispanic Americans. Well, in 1988, President Ronald Reagan signed a bill into law to expand the observatory to a whole month. So this is great. And thank you for joining us again. And now Tuesday.
Okay, so we do have some of our resource partners on with us today, and I think, Miguel, you were going to introduce them. I don't know. So we have.
I thought that was going to be a little later, but that's
Okay.
okay. I can introduce them.
Sorry.
Today we're going to have our resource partners. We actually have SCORE, the Small Business Development Center, the VBOC, the Veterans Business Outreach Center, and the Center for Women in Enterprise. There are SBA resource partners. They provide free and confidential counseling and mentoring for the lifetime of your business. So I'm going to introduce the Small Business Development Center, formerly known as the SBDC. So, Andrea?
Hi, everybody. Yeah, we provide confidential, no-cost business advising at any stage of your business, whether you want to grow, you need to discuss marketing, increasing sales. So I encourage you to go to our website, which is nhsbdc.org, and sign up for some free advising.
SCORE?
Thank you, Miguel, and thank you for having us today here. It is a pleasure to share with you a little bit more of what is SCORE about. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Georgina Noriega. I was born and raised in Mexico, and I recently moved here to the States no more than 2 years ago in this new era. Since I arrived, I started volunteering at SCORE, and now I work for SCORE. But what is SCORE? SCORE is one of the largest network of volunteers with expert business mentors that are dedicating to help small business get off the ground, grow, and achieve their goals. Since 1964, they have provided education and mentorship to more than 11 million entrepreneurs. SCORE is a nonprofit and is a resource partner of the U.S. Small Business Administration, SBA. Thanks to this generous support from the SBA, and because of the selfless contributions of more than 10,000 dedicated volunteers, we have been able to offer most of our offerings at no cost. In New Hampshire, here in SCORE Merrimack Valley, timely counseling is our mission. With over 100 volunteer mentors, we assist startups, existing small business by providing free business counseling, small business training, for example, through online workshops, and we used to host in-person workshops, maybe in the future as well, and a vast library of resources with information for you, most of which is available at no cost online. I will put in the chat box, I will take this opportunity to pop in the chat box and share with you two links. One, that will redirect directly to our New Hampshire website, giving you more information of how to apply for a free mentor. And the second one will be for you to see upcoming workshops from us, as well as my email. So please feel free to send me an email asking me whatever you want to ask, or any suggestions or comments, and I will be happy to answer more questions during the session. Thank you.
Thank you. Jenny from the Veterans Business Outreach Center.
Good morning, folks. My name is Jenny Murphy. I am the director of the Veterans Business Outreach Center of New England. We serve veterans and their spouses, providing opportunities to be able to support folks in the business startup process, as well as support folks with technical assistance as they are operating their business. So the VBOC of New England offers a large variety of opportunities for folks to engage in services, including online trainings that support folks in understanding how to be able to operate their business, or how to be able to address any type of issues or concerns they have with their business. We also offer one-on-one counseling services. So we take the time to be able to engage folks to really be able to understand what their needs are as a small business owner and support them throughout the lifetime of their business. We are really grateful to be working with veterans and their spouses, and all of our services are completely free of charge. So I will also add information in the chat box with our link to our website, as well as information regarding how to be able to reach us and to be able to sign up for services. So if folks have any questions, feel free to follow up. It's nice to meet all of you.
Thank you. And also Chandra from the Center for Women and Enterprise.
Thank you. Yes, very happy to be here. And Jenny, you just heard we are actually all within the same kind of umbrella organization, the Center for Women in Enterprise. We were established in 1995, and we house not only the Veterans Business Outreach Center, but 5 women's business centers across New England. And I am the director of the New Hampshire office. And we are a nonprofit organization, a small business administration resource partner like SCORE and SBDC and VBOC. And our goal is to provide opportunities for women and others to increase their professional success, their personal growth, and financial independence by providing access to services to allow them to start and grow their own small businesses. So similar to everyone that you've heard from, we also work with a wonderful network of experts, across New England, but especially here in New Hampshire, to provide workshops, multi-week classes, and one-on-one business advising for anyone, across the state that needs it. So please don't feel like you have to be a woman to receive our services. We do welcome everyone. And in addition to the Veterans Business Outreach Center and our Women's Business Centers, we also are the New England affiliate for the Women's Business Enterprise National Council, which is a mouthful. Sometimes we shorten it to WeBank, but basically this means that we are able to certify women-owned small businesses that would like to compete for contracts in the private sector and grow their business through that means. So I am very grateful to be here. So happy to meet all of you. And I will also pop my contact information and our website into the chat. And the last thing that I would say, similar to what others have said, right now, all of our services are no cost. Sometimes there are services, programs that we offer that will carry a cost, but we want to make sure that they are accessible to everyone. So we do offer a scholarship program. So if you were to ever find, through any of our centers, since right now everything is virtual, you can take something from all across our footprint. If there is a cost for something that you see, please let us know if you would like to receive a scholarship. So thank you very much. And I'm going to hand it back, and I'll pop my contact info in the chat.
Okay, thank you all. I'm going to hand this off to Tuesday.
Good morning, all. My name is Tuesday Belanger. I'm a lender relations specialist at the New Hampshire U.S. Small Business Administration. I'm pleased to be part of such a great event. It was very exciting for us to stand this up. So thank you all so very much for joining us. While I might not be of Latina descent, I have a fondness for this topic. I previously worked for the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services and had the pleasure of being involved in helping many individuals become legal permanent residents and or citizens of the United States. So I have a very unique fondness for this topic. So just want to give you a little bit more information. So we found out that according to the U.S. Census Bureau, that Hispanics are the nation's second fastest growing racial and ethnic group after Asian Americans. That's huge. So we applaud you. Yay! You know, the U.S. is a melting pot. So, you know, you're bringing things in. It's great. So there are 12 states: Arizona, California, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Texas that have a population of 1 million or more Hispanics residents since 2019. And there was a report that came out from I think it was Harvard. Or Stanford, sorry, it was Stanford, not Harvard. Don't want to get those two mixed up, right? Latinos are starting businesses at a faster rate than the national average across almost every single industry in the U.S. In pre-pandemic times, Hispanic-owned employer businesses generated nearly $500 billion in annual revenue and employed 3.4 million people. So, you know, making way. So just a couple of little statistics for you this morning. And I'm actually going to hand it off to my coworker, Cheryl, and she's going to tell you a little bit of information about EIDL.
Hi, everybody. My name is Cheryl Croto, and I am the Public Affairs Specialist in the Concord office. I work with Tuesday and Miguel. I just want to take just a couple of seconds to remind everybody that the SBA is still offering the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, and it's EIDL as we call it. So just a little bit about that. So we are offering the Economic Injury Disaster Loan to small businesses, agricultural businesses, and nonprofits due to the impact of COVID up until December 31st, 2021. And just so you know, over the last 18 months, since March of 2020, the SBA has approved over 11,000 EIDL loans for $867 million in New Hampshire alone. And as of recently, as of September 8th, we announced changes to the program to make it even more flexible for small businesses to get this loan. We've increased the cap from $500,000 to $2 million. And the loans can be used for any normal operating expenses, working capital, including payroll, purchasing equipment, paying debt down, federal loans, regularly scheduled payments. And we also have extended the deferment payment period, so you don't have to start your payments until 2 years after your loan origination. And some of the affiliation rules have been simplified for all the industries. The loans have a 3.75 fixed interest rate with terms up to 30 years for eligible small businesses and agricultural businesses, and nonprofits have a 2.75 fixed interest rate. So what you have to do is you have to go onto our website, fill out an application, and along with a completed application, you would need your 2019 and your 2020 federal income taxes, a completed IRS form 4506-T, government issued ID, a credit score of 570 and above, and some basic banking information so they know where to put your loan money. That's the important part of that anyway. And then if you were getting a loan for over 500,000, they would probably require some more documentation. So with that being said, every Wednesday we have a office hours with the Deputy District Director where we go over everything about the EIDL and about all the resources and programs that the SBA has. So I'll put that in the chat. And Miguel also does a once a month programs and resources with the Secretary of State, and I'll also put that information in the chat. So that goes over how to start your business, grow, go into government contracting, get your name through the state, so forth and so on. So anyway, thank you for your time, and I'll turn that back over to Tuesday.
So thank you so much, Cheryl. I appreciate that update. So with us today, we have 3 small business owners in the state of New Hampshire, and they've been gracious enough to take time out of their day to help us spread the news about being a Hispanic business owner. So with us, we have Sandra Alamonte, owner of Don Quixote, hopefully I said that right, restaurant located in Manchester, New Hampshire. Alexander Alves, co-owner of Whim Craft Pub and Brewery in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and Carlos Carrasco, owner of C&E Professional Cleaning. Thank you all so much for being here and kind of teaching us not only about your businesses, but your heritage and what it means to you. So to get started, I just want to tell you a little bit about Sandra. Sandra is Latina, a mother of 3 boys, and has been the restaurant owner of Don Quixote for the last 20 years. She's extremely passionate about helping strengthen her community, especially in the underserved populations of Manchester. So much so that she is the board chair of NeighborWorks Southern New Hampshire, a board member for Conservation Law Foundation, and serves on the advisory board for Centro Latino de Hispanidad. Apologize. I don't have that tongue. So Manchester Proud and ISN. She's trying to be a voice that gets heard as someone who people trust and respect. Sandra, tell us how you've been able to keep your business going strong for 20 years now.
Oh, goodness. A lot of hard work, long hours, a lot of envisioning and thinking about not only today, but a year from today, and how am I going to keep my staff employed and safe, especially during the last 2 years, with the COVID. So it's just a lot of hard work and dedication, and of course teamwork. Without teamwork, not only from my staff, but with my boys, they're teenagers now, and help from the family, I couldn't do it. So it's a big combination of everything, and just in the Latino family, I was brought up in a very tight family, and we just take care of each other and know that we're there for each other, and that's the exact same thing that I bring over to my staff. We are a big family. It's my second family, as I tell them.
That's wonderful. So what kind of food do you serve?
I originally, when I first started the business, we used to only serve Dominican food. So my flavors are Dominican. But over the years, I wanted to serve the general population of Manchester, which was grown. We thought it was only Dominicans, but we have Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, people from a lot of Hondurans, Guatemala. So I try to, over the years, I learned, taking people's comments, a lot of garlic or a lot of lime juice. And so we try to make the recipes to a point that it was comfortable for everybody. But most of my dishes, I would have to say, are Dominican. We have a little bit of Mexican. Lots of people thought we were a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
We do make a little hot sauce with our twist. We do make a Cuban sandwich with the Manchester twist, because not everybody wanted the Cuban sandwich that's originally made in Cuba and known in Florida. But I target the people within the community. But it has a Dominican taste, that flavor.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Alex Alves is a native of New Hampshire. His Latino heritage comes from his father, who is from Puerto Rico. He's married and has 2 children. He loves being outdoors and doing all different types of activities, from swimming to motorcycling. He was raised right here in Raymond, New Hampshire, which has had very little diversity when he was growing up. And the fact that he was raised in a split cultural family gave him a unique perspective, which helped shape his future values and acceptance, respect, and tolerance. In 2013, Alex founded Whim Craft Beer Cafe with a 10 draft line of beer gastropub in Portsmouth. Sounds like a lot of work, Alex. And Whim and Alex have received many awards, both locally and nationally, from being Alex himself being the best bartender. I think I need some tips from him, and to being the best beer bar. Then in 2019, he partnered with two other individuals to create Whim Craft Pub and Brewery. Alex, what inspired you to partner up in 2019?
Oh, well, first off, thank you for the opportunity to be here today. I've always been a person with a lot of ideas, and I'm constantly looking for new ways or alternative ways for improvement. And, I started thinking that it was probably my work ethic was driving my success, and not really, opportunities that I had, which basically, everybody thinks it's about opportunities and, what you achieve early in life might be what's going to set you on a path. For me, it was a little bit different. I started realizing, my work ethic was giving me opportunity, and I started to realize, like, well, if I was doing this, if I could do this for myself, if I was working as hard as I do for myself, there's no way I could lose. And craft beer in general, I think attracted me just because it does have a rising tide lifts all boats mentality to the industry, which is very similar to Hispanic culture. It's kind of like, hey, we're all going and you're coming too. You might not like it, but you're coming. You're a part of this family. We're going. So I think that's, that part of the industry is what really drove me into it. And I think that, growing up in a Hispanic family early on as children, we see our parents being a good role model for our communities. So for the Hispanic community in general. So I think that that's really what was my driving factor to grow my business and to take on partners and take that next step and become a better leader in our community.
Great, thank you so much. So we also have Carlos Carrasco, who moved to the United States only 3 short years ago. At that time, when he moved here, he didn't speak any English, not a lick. And as some of you might have heard already, he speaks very well. And at that time when he moved here, he felt as though he fell behind on the goals he had set for himself. He had already had ideas of how to get his business moving, and it wasn't until a good friend of his had gotten him in touch with Brian from SCORE that he decided to finally make those goals and dreams a reality. Working closely with Brian, he gave Carlos the push needed to get the business started. So in 2020, Carlos opened his house cleaning company, C&E Professional Cleaning. While he feels it is still growing slowly, he does feel though it's moving in the right direction. He has great hopes for his business and is happy about making all those things happen. Carlos, why did you decide to start a business during a worldwide pandemic?
Hello, everyone. It's good to be here. For me, it's such a pleasure sharing this time with all of you. And honestly, the pandemic, we all know how challenging time has been for everybody here. I know you've been going through that situation, and that is the same that happened to me. By then I was having an older job, but for some reason, I lost the job and I was getting to other activity, but it wasn't enough for me. And for that time, I just decided to take advantage of the pandemic. I used it as a springboard. I just threw myself into the next level. And I always have those ideas, to have my own business. And then what I thought was, well, I can use that for myself. I know people now are trying to stay healthy and trying to have a cleaner environment. So that might be a good idea for me right now. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to jump in and create my own business. By the way, I have many ideas before, but as you said, once I got in touch with Brian, he guided me all the way through the point he gave me what I need. He pushed me as much as I needed to start my business, and that's why I'm running my business nowadays.
Wonderful. So thank you so much, Carlos. Alex, and this question is for all three of you, but I'll start with Alex. Do you feel your Hispanic heritage played a role in any role in a part of the business that you currently have?
Yeah, absolutely. This is we're a bar and restaurant in a brewery, and hospitality is a huge part of Hispanic culture. I think a lot of our culture revolves around food, beverage, and family. So I'm very comfortable in this environment. It's the environment that I grew up in. I'm also really comfortable, greeting people and bringing new people in, which is a huge part of our Hispanic culture as well. So absolutely, I'm really comfortable in this environment, and I'm sure that welcoming experience is why people return, and why people come back. They feel welcomed, and I'm really happy to be a part of that.
Great. And how about you, Carlos? Do you feel that your Hispanic heritage played a part in the business that you currently have?
Absolutely. Same like Alice said. I think this is part of our lives. That's how we were raised, and every single decision that I take is influenced by my Hispanic heritage, and always, thinking about what is the best way to grow my business and use those skills to grow and always move and keep moving forward. We have that motivation, that inspiration from our parents. They push us so hard, they work for us so hard. So we have the same ambition, we have the same feeling, always working hard and trying to do the best every single day.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And Sandra, how about you? What role do you feel your Hispanic heritage has played in your business and helping you make decisions?
Everything around it. My parents, especially my mom and dad, and my grandpa. I call them all mom and pop, because my parents came to the United States and left us in the Dominican Republic for about 2 years. So since I was 7 years old, I was being raised by my grandparents and my aunts. So the whole family values, and the respect of elders, the Sunday dinners, where everybody's talking and getting to know, basically getting to know each other. As a little girl, I still remember, my aunts and all the advice my grandmother was giving them. And of course, I always was around them, so I, absorbed everything. And It was also about hard work and what goals. Like my grandfather would always ask, what are your goals? When you go to the United States, what do you think you're going to do? And are you going to bring us over there? Are you going to help us in the house? So just everything around our culture, and that inspiration and that respect and that sense of, we got to make it. Oh my God, I got to send money to my grandfather so they can build a house. So all that plays a role in basically every decision that I make, and the way I try to raise my boys, and I try to mentor some of my employees and help their kids with homework and just help them grow and, learn English and follow along. I actually had 2 of my staff members who went ahead and opened their own business.
Wow.
So they basically, I taught them, opening the bank accounts. I try to give them the same exact thing my parents gave me. Was the first thing you need is to save money. You open a bank account, and then you grow from there. So yes.
Wonderful.
Businesses around heritage.
That's pretty spectacular. Also, we did have a question in the chat. I'll get back to the other questions in just a moment. The Miguel Cardenas is asking if we can have the links to your individual businesses. So if you have a website or a link, Facebook or whatever, if you don't mind just putting it in the chat, if you have access to that, we would appreciate it, Carlos, Sandra, and Alex. So Carlos, can you tell us what you believe are high points of being a business owner?
Well, there is a lot of high points here. Definitely being an owner from your own business, it means a lot of responsibilities for sure. But at the same time, you have other opportunities like you can manage your own time, you can create your own schedule, you can grow as much as you want. And actually you have the ability to be more creative. So you need to become with more ideas, you need to improve yourself every day. So I think those are a few of the most important um, high points that I can find. And actually, you can call yourself your own boss. I think that's something really nice too.
Yeah, that is. I'm sure that is pretty special. And Sandra, can you tell us what you think high points are for being a business owner for you?
Sure. I basically have to echo what Carlos just mentioned, the total control of your day. And then, of course, financial stability. It gives you that financial freedom to think ahead, what your next project is going to be, or, what your next focus is going to be. And that sense of freedom that you could make a little bit more money, you just have to focus on it and you don't have to think about, it's a salary, I'm only my goal is to make this amount this month. So, and on a payroll, you're basically stuck. So I've always been very creative and I try to stay on target. So I usually make myself goals, monthly goals, yearly goals, 3 years, 5 years. And every time I reach those goals, then I set myself new ones. So that financial stability for me it's what keeps me going. And I pass that along to my kids. And then the same thing with my staff, because they're the ones around me. My family all lives in New Jersey. I'm the only one here.
Wow.
So, yeah. But yes, it's just that financial freedom and that sense of, even though I'm working 16, 17-hour days most of the time, but the day that I say I'm not going to work, I stay home.
Yeah. And how about you, Alex? What are high points of being a business owner for you?
Yeah, first I want to say it feels great to hear such similar stories, and to be on a panel of people, with similar stories. So this is great. I think for myself, some of the high points are, as far as being a business owner and kind of being the boss, as they say, is that, the decision starts with me. So there's never anybody to blame. If there's a situation or an issue, I take action. And I think that, part of that, goes back to the Hispanic heritage of, the righteousness of just stepping out in front of something and taking care of it. So you're never really waiting for someone, as being a business owner. But, at first it was maybe seeing my ideas come to life, the creation part of it. And then it became a mixture of, the responsibility that you have to your team and seeing people succeed and having people move on and do greater things with the skills they may have learned with me. So that's a really great, that's something that I get to take home every day and be proud of when I see people succeed. And then that it also opens the doors for me to learn and to be a lifelong learner, because there's new challenges every day. So I think that's those are my high points.
Those are great high points. So the last question that we have for our small business panel is, how do you believe your heritage affects your values, community involvement, and your current status? And you kind of all have touched on this a little bit, but I just want to, kind of go into it a little more. And Alex, why don't we start with you? So with your heritage, how does it affect your values, your community involvement, and your current status in just life in general?
Yeah, I think growing up as a minority in a primarily white rural community gave me an opportunity to see things from a different perspective. It helps me stay open-minded and forward-thinking. And and what I mean by that is anything's possible. Most of the time, given the opportunity, most everybody they're going to surprise you with what they're capable of. And I think that's as a leader, it's given me the opportunity to create a work environment that allows that. I feel really good when I do something well, and I see, and that makes me sensitive to, other people being in that same situation. So, we want to promote that, and a large part of Hispanic culture is sharing, and so I think I see it with the with the other owners on the panel. They get a pride from sharing their success with the community, with their employees, and kind of doing it together. Family has been a common word that's come up in our discussion today, and I think I'm seeing this a similar thing with the these work families. So I think that's how being Hispanic has helped me in my community involvement.
Yeah. And Carlos, I know that you've only been in the United States for a couple of years now, but I'm sure that being basically fresh off the boat, as we used to call it in immigration, you have that transition over. How do you believe your heritage has affected your values, community involvement, and your current status here in the United States, being so new here?
Yeah, for sure. I think the fact of time is not really a good measure for see our values getting to the community. Especially sometimes you find a lot of people that are expecting the worst from you, oh, Latin people, Latin guy, or there's always someone around you that might be just waiting for that moment.
Yeah.
But in my case, the way that my parents taught me, to see the life, always learning about respect. That's something that I use in my own life every day, in my business. I like to respect everyone as they are, no matter who they are, no matter how much I'm getting paid for them. I think money is just a material things. I think there is more values behind a relationship that you grow with respect. I actually have been learning a lot from Les Brown. I don't know if you ever heard him. He said one of his phrase, give more than that you have been paid for. So that at the same time, using that phrase helped me to improve myself and actually give more from myself to the community. And, being honest all the time, even though when that implies to that I can lose probably a customer because I say I can't do that, or
Right.
that's what it is, and sometimes you can lose, but it's better being honest and say the truth all the time. Those are values. I think the community can take the advantage at the same time, even though when I'm new here, and I think when we all as every single person as a community part, using those values is a nice and a great way to grow our community every single day.
Right. Great. Thank you so much. And Sandra, I kind of left you for last purposely because as when I gave you your update, you really are super involved in your community. And I apologize, Carlos and Alex, if you are, I don't mean to diminish that whatsoever. Sandra put that in her bio. So I know that it's, super important to her. So can you tell us, Sandra, how you believe your Hispanic heritage has affected your values, community involvement, because you're very involved in your community, and your current status?
Thank you, Tuesday. Well, since I was 9 years old and we arrived here in the United States, I'm the oldest of four. So my parents both worked 2 jobs. And as being the oldest, I had to be in charge of getting ourselves to school, making sure we all got home safely, did our homework. I had to cook and make sure we clean at the end of the day and be ready for the next morning. So at a very young age, I had that responsibility and that leadership. I was given that leadership. of my family. And then as we grew older, then my dad actually, he went for his high school diploma. He took ESL classes, went for his high school diploma to help us with school so we could move on to a better school system. We lived in a really, in Paterson, New Jersey. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Paterson, New Jersey. And back then it wasn't as bad as it is now, but my dad always looked ahead of, trying to give us a little bit better, reach the American dream. And when they finally bought a house and we moved on to a better school, then we had to, the goals were now he wouldn't accept anything less than a B plus. Like if there was no 85s, 87s, then we basically failed under, his eyes. So, that leadership was just there. So I grew with that. And then of course, when I went to high school, he always said, you need to stay ahead. We are a minority. We went to basically an all-white school, and what do they call it? When they choose the students, you have to make sure you get in. You just can't get. So we had to be good. We had to have good scores to make it there. So I joined the Future Business Leaders of America, and these are the different programs. I was part of the National Honor Society. So all that is what brought me to have all these visions for Manchester. I see so many needs, and I try to be have a relationship with every customer that comes in. I tell my staff it's like a family member. We have a lot of immigrants that have no family here, so we become that family. We have a tradition in Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's Eve that we cook. Like we close at 6 o'clock, and we cook and we give food to our regular customers, our loyal customers who make it in every single day, because we become their family. And so, so all that is what brought me. It's how I grew up, taking care of others. And then, seeing some of the struggles my staff can't go through, living, housing 2 to 3 families in one apartment because they can't afford to rent, especially these days with the rents, with the housing market being so high. They can't afford to pay $1,200 on a 2-bedroom. So there's 2 families living in a 2-bedroom apartment, 9 people living in a 2 3-bedroom apartment. And then when we go to let's suppose that's housing, and then let's go to my conservation law foundation membership. I see the needs. Like not all the streets have a bike rail. Not all the streets are safe for grandparents to take a walk in the afternoon or bring the kids, biking. So why only the north end of Manchester has those bike rails? And then we go to green space. When it's hot outside and they live in a 3 a triple decker, and then the backyard of their house is actually their parking space. Where are the children supposed to go? So there's not a lot of parks within the central city. So that's where all my passion comes about, with my community. And then when I go to some women, who come in from different countries, a lot of refugees, most women in our countries, we're supposed to be behind the man. The man is the leader. The man of the house is the one who makes the decisions. And I was raised to be otherwise. I was raised to that you can reach for whatever you want. You just have to make it and, set yourself goals and just that empowerment. And there's, for example, right now I'm working on one of my committees in the inner city is financial freedom, not only financial literacy. We're trying to get more financial literacy to residents so they can own their own home instead of just renting. And then I also, we also brought up starting our youngsters in middle schools and high school, because when it comes to college, most parents, immigrant parents, don't know what FAFSA application is.
Right.
They have no idea, that they need to take, budgeting and paying their bills on time. So whenever they're people trying to buy a house, try to buy a condo, and just that, all that financial information literacy that they need, some of them need to be empowered. And so that's where all my passion is. And the little bit of time that I do have from the restaurant, I normally go to Zoom meetings in my car, unless the early morning before I go to work.
Yeah.
But any extra minute of the day that I have, I dedicate it because I want to make their lives better, or at least lead them, because they don't know all the different resources that are out there.
Right,
The
right.
same way Carlos mentioned, that SCORE, taught him how to get to that business. There are some people who they have the vision, they want to do it, but they don't know the how-tos.
Right.
And getting those resources to people is so important, and that's the voice that I like to be for the people here in Manchester.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So I just want to say thank you all very, very much for taking time out of your day to be with us today. It really is a pleasure to talk to you. To round out our event a little bit, we also have Diane, and I apologize, Diane, if I'm slaughtering your name, Bohorquez, who is a senior loan consultant with Ascendus. For those of you who don't know what Ascendus is, it's a nonprofit microlender serving small businesses. They provide loans, financial education, and even training to small business owners across the country. Diane graduated from Bentley University with a bachelor's degree in global management and is fluent in English and Spanish. Ascendus, while not located in New Hampshire, is an SBA lender, and they are known for their push and desire to assist the underserved population. Thank you, Diane. Can you tell us a little bit more about Ascendus and what they're doing to assist the underserved and Hispanic communities?
Of course, Susie. Thank you for the introduction. Good morning to all. As she mentioned, I am a loan consultant at Ascend. We are a nonprofit micro lender. We have been around for over 30 years. We do lend across the U.S. Right now, primarily, we're focusing on the areas where we have physical presence, and I work primarily in the New England region, also serving, of course, New Hampshire. Part of the work we do is really to focus on serving low to moderate income and small business owners. And we provide lending as well as technical assistance. So some of the programs that we have right now for anyone that's interested, in terms of lending, we have programs for businesses that have established for at least 6 months. And we have a great program as a result of the pandemic. It's a 4% interest rate loan. It has a term of 60 months with the first 12 months of interest payments only. And in order to apply, if anyone is interested, you can just always contact me directly. I'm going to be putting my information on the chat, as well as our website, so you can see any other programs that are available. We also have SBA loans, as mentioned. These loans right now run with an interest rate of 7.75, between 7.75 to 8.50% annually. And so right now we're really focusing on advertising our lower interest because it's more competitive. As mentioned, the EIDL that the SBA has is a great program. We always recommend everyone to try and apply and see if they qualify. But as we know, a lot of members of our community don't have access to many of these programs, because sometimes they don't meet the requirements in terms of formality. Sometimes our business are very informal. They don't have or meet all the requirements. So the program that we have at 4% was really designed to be able to serve especially those who were not able to access EIDL or PPP. So like I said, anyone interested, you're welcome to contact me. I'm going to be throwing my information on the chat. And yeah, that would be it from my end.
Great. Thank you so much. And did I say your name properly?
Yes, Diane. My last name, RH is silent, so it's just Borges.
Yeah, okay. Borges. Okay. So Diane. And so a couple things. One, I want to open it up to questions in just a moment. But Miguel, I believe that we have someone else on the line that you wanted to introduce this morning.
Yes, I do. I actually wanted to introduce Dave Pease. He's from Procurement Technical Assistance Center. So Dave, I'm going to give you like 2 minutes. Do you want to say what you do?
Oh, thanks, Miguel. The Procurement Technical Assistance Center is a federal state program to assist businesses with all aspects of government contracting. All our services are free. So we help New Hampshire companies do business with federal, state, and local governments. We're located in Concord. I have myself and 3 other counselors who work directly with businesses. And I should say I'm really personally delighted to be here today. My background is interesting in that on one side of my family, we've been here almost 400 years as Northern European invaders. The other side arrived, well, my mother was first generation, so and my son-in-law is from a small village just north of Mexico City. My only grandchild so far is Latina, so I feel interestingly connected. My heritage has all of the experiences, I think, except, well, actually, I was going to say except Native American, but my son-in-law, frankly, is of indigenous descent. So I got that too. We'd love to help anyone explore whether or not there are opportunities for them in government contracting. That's what we do. And if the answer to that question is yes, then we can help in many ways. You pursue that.
Thank you.
Wonderful. So I do want to open it up to any questions from anyone on the line here today or on the panel. Please feel free to, kind of jump in and ask questions. And before we get too far, and because we're wrapping it up, Sandra, Alex, and Carlos, if you don't mind just holding on after we're done, if you just have a couple extra minutes, I'd love to just chat with you a little bit longer. So, but is there anyone in our audience that has any questions for any of our resource partners, SCORE, SBDC, CWE, VBOC, or our small business owners that are on the line?
Hello?
Yep, go ahead.
Hi. This is a state representative, Maria Perez. I don't have a question, but I do want to take a minute and I want to recognize all the Latino businesses in our state because it is important. It is important, especially now that we celebrate our culture and our background. It is important to recognize, how important their businesses are. They help in an economy in a way that they're bringing more revenue to the state, and then they're creating more jobs, not just the revenue and the taxes that they pay, but to be honest, they help others to be able to find better opportunities in our state. So I just want to take a minute and say thank you for everything everyone in this panel is doing.
Thank you.
And I see that, Dick, you have your hand up. Did you want to ask a question or make a statement?
Just make a comment. And if someone is not yet really fluent in English and they might then be uncomfortable with asking for mentoring from SCORE, we have folks like Carlos, who is a volunteer, and Georgina, who are multilingual. And what we'll do is, in that particular case, we ask them to join the primary mentor as a co-mentor, and they'll be there to help translate. And because I know a lot of the concepts that a mentor would try to explain in English may not be understandable if you're not fluent yet. So that's why they would then play that role of being the intermediary or the translator to make sure that the person coming to asking for help would be able to understand the concept. So Carlos, in addition to being a business owner, is also a volunteer, a SCORE volunteer, and Georgina helps. And we have a couple other people too. I think we have about 4 people who are multilingual who will help out in that particular category if needed.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dick. Leticia?
Yes, good morning. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Miguel Morales, Tuesday, for putting this event honoring the Latino community. Just wanted to highlight also that our office, the Office of Senator Jen Shaheen, is working very close with the Small Business Administration, and I will include the information for Michelle Cota, that she's the one that is in constant communication with you. We try to broadcast all the new programs that you guys have, and so they can have this information. That is changing, pretty much like very often right now with different programs. So it's important for everybody to know about those programs, and so they can take advantage of this. But thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Manny Zapata?
Good morning, everyone. I just want to say hi, and I'm here because Andrea from a small business development from New Hampshire, out of Concord. So, what I do for a living is trucking all over the United States. So I got trucks that go here to Cali, Texas, Georgia, everywhere. So I'm in the part of transportation. I do FedEx, UPS, all that. And like Carlos says, he's here to help everybody else, like American, African, everybody that come from any other country. I hope, I become a truck driver because you don't need to speak like perfect English. The only thing you need is like basic English, understand the sign, get to the shipper and receiving, and be respectful everywhere you go. And the most important, be on time,
Yeah.
And thanks to Andrea, when 2019, when the first, COVID thing came, I called, to a small business. Hey, Andrea, can you please get back to me? She got back to me in a matter of minutes. And she's like, guide me, like where to go, how to get help from the state, SBA, the EIDL, all those programs, PPP. I got it because of her.
Right.
Thanks God, thanks to her, I'm in business because, the help she gave me at the time.
That's wonderful.
I came to this country like 12 years ago, and I've been working so hard since I got here. And I used to work for the post office 4 years with no vacation, every single holiday, working. And Kevin, one of my friends, he's like 60 years old. He came to me, Manny, you should do better. Like you so like hard worker. You're here every single day, 4 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. You can do better. I say, Kevin, I don't speak English. He said, no, you got the most important thing. Like you're so responsible. If you're here every day, if you have your own business, you're gonna do so good. You're gonna be successful. Because English is okay, but the most important thing is like be respectful, be on time. You never miss a work. Even when I'm sick, I'm here working.
Yeah.
So he opened my mind, and that's when I started Googling, looking in YouTube how to start your own business. And then it was really challenging because I don't speak perfect English, how to understand, get all the permits for my trucking business. So finally I did it, and Andrea helped me how to do cash flow, how to understand what's going out, what's coming in, for cash flow, how to understand the marketing. So thank you, everyone. I gotta go. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much for joining us. Oh, go ahead, Miguel.
I do want to mention something on the SBA's website, the national website. Up at the top hand left side, there's a translation button. There's 105 different translations for anyone that's looking to start a business, and if they couldn't just read that in English, but there's 105 different translations there to take advantage of.
Thank you, Miguel. So I just want to say thank you so very much to everyone who attended today. You made this event possible, and we're stoked. And hopefully next year we'll make it bigger. We'll have a little more time to plan, and we have some other ideas. And if you have ideas for us to help us make next year a little better, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll put my information in the chat box so that you can let me know. And it would be a pleasure to adapt things a little bit more. So we have a few other great events that are coming up. I just want to mention those real quick while we have everyone on the line. Tuesday's talks is we have next week, and I am the host of that. And that is at 10 a.m. and it is on Eventbrite. And if you are interested, just shoot me an email and I can get you that link. The topic is disability employment. So it's National Disability Employment Awareness Month. What that is we're going to be learning from the Department of Labor and the state voc rehab agency about how to use other or people with disabilities, as they are a very, very good employee and they work extremely hard. Then at the beginning of November, we will be celebrating Veterans Small Business Week, and Miguel is he is the front runner for that. He is working on that. He's got a round table set up. He has a veteran Boots to Business event going on that first week. So keep an eye out for information on that, or email us and we can get it to you. Also in November, Cheryl is hosting what is called Small Business Saturday, and those details will be forthcoming. Those are kind of national events, so we've been tasked with getting certain things completed. So stay tuned. Always look at our website, because everything that we have going on is on our calendar, and we try to send out emails, but we don't always get everything on that calendar because it's ever changing. So keep those events in mind. Again, for more information, you can reach out to any one of us, Cheryl, Miguel, or myself at SBA, and we'd be more than happy to help you. So again, thank you so much for joining us. And if Sandra, Carlos, and Alex could just stay on for a couple minutes longer, just so I can chat with you and I'll stop the recording, that would be greatly appreciated. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on this event.
Thank you.
Thank you.